Why sick, man. Shout out Hip Hop Seattle. Y'all go tap in, man.
J Park, AMG High Music. Want to give a big shout out to Hip Hop Seattle, man. Let's get it.
This Ralphie Davis. Right now, y'all finna tap in to Hip Hop Seattle.
You carved your name out in my heart. You think it's nothing. All we do is fight back and forth if we're not touching. You say
it depends on who you're asking. I do a lot of things, so yeah, it definitely depends on who you're asking. Wear a lot of hats, you know. Born to my mom, so I'm a son first. You know, I'm a man, I'm me, and there's a lot of other things. So.
Leave me this time, and I think you're
from the town, from Seattle. You asking me something else or what? Specifically? Now I feel like you're testing my gangster.
But that's
I think it all comes from I feel like when kids are born they're seed, you know, like, so I can't say a lot that everything was from like where I'm from, because a lot of people are where I'm from that are from where I'm from are not the same as me at all, you know. So you got a seed, like I was born the way I was, and then, you know, my mom, that was a big portion of it, you know, everything. She gave me a lot of game, you know, having all the family members I had, the good and the bad, seeing all that stuff, and yeah, but just somewhere up in here, you know, my heart and everything for sure. And then luckily I was given the words over time to be able to display the emotions or whatever I feel and I see and whatever I do with my hands, you know. So I have to say it's like all those things that make it happen for anybody.
eat, setting my hope and faith till there's not.
Well, I mean, I've been singing before I was rapping, honestly. And like even with the song the one that we just released with me and J Park, it was just like last week or whatever, on World Star. That one we made like 3 years ago. We made the video for it like a few years ago, you know. So like I just sometimes I be making shit, but I ain't put it out yet. So, you know, I rap, that's my thing. I write, you know, I wrote and shit like that. But I also sing. It's just depending on what styles I want to show or I'm ready to show just yet, you know, and what fields I'm on, you know. So I'll be making lots of different things. And I really learned whenever I'm feeling a certain emotion, I make it right then. So, you know, but if that's not what I'm pushing right then okay, it's going over here. You know, if I'm feeling happy, let me make a happy song right now. You know, if I'm feeling some type of emotion towards a woman that's not on some like, you know, type of shit, then let me go make a positive song about it, you know, about a girl right now before I, you know, get in some other shit and it's not positive, you know, because I'm not gonna what do I look like making a love song when I'm on some like, bitch, you're fucking up type shit, you know. So whenever I'm feeling emotion, I make the song right there, you know. So yeah, it's been a minute, and yeah, it's not a who, it's a, I mean, I was singing way back in the day before my balls dropped, then they dropped, and I was like, fuck all that. You know, so then it just kind of came back around. You know, the more and more you're making music, the more and more you're like, all right, you know, we incorporate different melodies, harmonies, and all that stuff, and then you're like, okay, let me fully commit on this, and like, I'm really singing. I'm not just melodizing. You know, I used to call it melodizing, not just melodize, but it's like, nah, I'm really doing it. So let me go ahead and do that. And I feel like different genres, you know, help lend better to different emotions. So, you know, if that's the emotion, I'm gonna sing on it. Yeah, let's do it. You know, so that's what it really is.
Cause that isn't love.
That's good. Well, I mean, really, honestly, a few homies were like gassing me up and telling me I could really, you know, I had something, and then they wanted to support and invest and put money in behind this like that, you know. That was like at the beginning, you know. That was a lot back then, you know, with little guys and stuff like that, like throwing in, you know, $50 for an hour here, a couple, you know, 50 whatever and all that stuff, you know. But after that, then I just took it myself, and you know, and I was getting money and stuff like that, so I was funding my own stuff. But seeing the principle, the fact that they were able to go and reach into their pockets, they didn't even have money. I don't know how they got that shit, you know, and pull out a couple hundred or something like that and put it on me and my, you know, my dreams, shit like that. It was like, all right, you know, I knew it was something. And you know, when I first wrote my first poem or whatever, I already knew like this is what I gotta do for the rest of my life. So it was like, that's done deal, you know. and someone showed me who Tupac was because I wasn't tapped in, you know. So I was like, hold on a second, what he's doing, what I'm doing, hold on, what? They're like, yeah, bro, you're a rapper. I'm like, nah, like, so I was like, all right, I guess I kind of am. So like, how do you do this? You know, I had to figure out what a recording studio was. I didn't know, so figured that shit out, and you know, I went and got up in there. So I went into the yellow pages, the physical yellow pages, flipping through them, you know, white pages, shit like that or whatever, to go and figure out like, okay, recording studio, all right, we're there. And that's what it was.
Things just to hurt me. Throw my mind out for.
I don't have a favorite poet. I was never into studying poetry. I just like creative writing class. All right, we're writing poetry. We're writing a poem. Okay, write it. You know, so it was all about an outlet and for me to be able to communicate with people. You know, it wasn't like, hey, look at his writing. It's very, you know, exquisite or whatever. Or like, you know, it wasn't like that for me. It was literally like, write. You know, and so I wrote some shit, and that's where, you know, and it sounded like that. So, you know, I just think any writing, that's poetry, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was trained poetry. We're going to do this type of poem, and, you know, whatever. Nah, it was just like you're writing something, and then I wrote something, and it was emotions, you know, however I was feeling, what I was going through at that time. Bang, right there, you know. I mean, I wish I had some other greats that I could name, you know, because, you know, you gotta follow the stars, and like, and you don't have to do anything, but you know, it is positive to pay homage to people that create a lane for you to be able to even do what you're doing. You know, like if we didn't have, you know, whoever the first people were doing poetry slams and shit like that, you know, that's a big thing for a lot of youth to be able to plug into and get their first start at performing in any kind of shit or any kind of, you know, stage work. So I probably definitely needed to plug in and go check in. You know, I could think like Edgar Allan Poe's and like, you know, whatever the fucks and shit like that, but I can't like recite anybody's shit, you know, right now. But I should go back and plug in for sure. But yeah, so nobody right now.
Working, cause that isn't love.
Well, I mean, I can't do anything but, you know, meaningful. My thing is like everything I do in life has to have purpose. It don't matter what it is. There's gotta be some type of purpose, you know. So I mean, definitely it's the same thing with my music. That's my passion. You know, I do that for the passion. I don't make money off of music. I make money everywhere else, you know. So it's always been like, this has to be like real. Everything has to be real. Everything I rap is real. So, you know, even if it's a negative, you know, even if it seems like it's a little negative or a little dark or super positive or whatever, or this thing or whatever it is, you know, it's going to have some type of meaning behind it and purpose, you know. Sometimes the purpose is to communicate to others that have been through that same shit. Sometimes the purpose is to get something off my chest, and then it happens to communicate to others and help them as well, you know. And then I'm usually pushing a line. I'm always pushing a line on something. So I'm always like pushing some type of propaganda, you know, some type of like other agenda, you know, to whether it's bridging gaps or, you know, letting people know that they can be themselves in this way, you know, pushing, you know, trying to, you know, cut in half self-hate and, you know, a lot of like, you know, a lot of people that are kind of fucked off, you know, marginalized people. I'm always looking out for the underdog, you know, so any kind of way, any ton of time I can, you know, go against and be like an anti-Disney, you know, and push a different line. I'm pushing the line to, you know, to let people know, you know, let them know what's up or whatever. So I'm always pushing something, even if it's just super, sounds extra ignorant, I'm still pushing something, you know. Because that's just me. Like I look at it, everything is war. You know, you have a certain amount of moves. You don't know. You might have less moves than you thought you did because you might die as soon as you step out of this door. You know, so everything is war for me. So I'm always like, you know, war is about planning and adaptability, part planning, part adaptability. So everything is some type of agenda type thing. You know, and for me, like I'm trying to push positive because with my music, because I've already pushed enough negative with everything else. You know, my negative was like negative is always like a means to end, or like, you know, I'm a Robin Hood, you know, I'm like, I do this negative thing to get this positive thing. And then, you know, I'm trying to make sure that it balances out to at the end, you know, I did more positive from this negative than negative. So no matter what kind of fucked up shit I'm doing, I always have different like, kind of rules for myself. And like, I have certain ethics within myself, you know, like I'm not trying to pimp out somebody that's not already like with the shit, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to like whatever. I definitely don't fuck with underage girls, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the kind of codes that I lived by, you know what I mean, that I rock with or whatever. Even with like drugs and stuff, I never sold drugs to somebody I hadn't used them before type shit, you know what I mean? So like, you know, whatever, memoir talking, you know, whatever. So like that's the type of stuff, like any kind of shit like that, I have certain rules for myself in there. So even that, like, so some of those things, you know, and other things that I've pushed in the past or whatever, you know, those things weren't always the most positive, like upright shit. So with the music, I like to, you know, even if it's gonna be some negative and darkness, because that's where I come from, that's what it is, you know, and all that stuff. But, you know, how can we be better than we are, you know, like, I mean, like, yeah, okay, you might have to shoot somebody, let's make it so it's not your brother right here that's trying to do the same exact thing as you know what I mean? Okay, yeah, you might whatever. Like, I look at it like, instead of preaching don't have sex, you know, use a condom, you know, or like, you know, be careful with the people that you're around and shit like that, you know, like, if you're about to do something like this, then do it the right way. If you're about to do this, you know, all that stuff, like, that's how I look. So, and I genuinely, like that's in my heart, you know. I made a pact with myself. I told myself that, you know, even if I had a daughter that came at me, or sister or whatever that came at me and said that they want to be a prostitute, instead of telling them no, fuck no, I gotta tell them and give them the game and let them know, you know, all the ways that they can protect themselves, because they're gonna do what they're gonna do, you know, regardless. And if I say fuck no, the fuck, like, then they're just gonna do what they want to do, and they're gonna go all out, and they're not gonna consult me or anything. If they even had, you know, anything in their heart to tell me that shit, that means that they felt like some type of trust, respect, or like something, you know, where they felt like some type of safety to tell me that. So then I have to use that, you know, utilize that, and make sure I'm giving, you know, giving some type of positive, even if it's seems like it's in a negative way, or it's a negative thing, you know. It's like, that's why I always look at it like I'm a light in the darkness, you know. So like, because that's what it is. And a lot of times it's not that. People don't understand that. They either want, you know, they want shit to be like super conscious and super like whatever, or, you know, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. So it's like, that shit don't work. Like, if when I'm doing what I'm doing, I don't want to hear you tell me, like, I already know that shit. I already know it's bad to do this and do that and do that. But that doesn't change what I'm going through, what I'm doing, what I have to handle. You know, I still gotta do this shit. So if you want to give me some game on how to do it in a better way, maybe then I might listen to that. But if you're just telling me like some shit to make me feel guilty or something, like, we already been through the guilt. I already felt that shit. But now I'm past that shit. I gotta keep on staying focused. So if you want to keep on talking that, you can go over there and talk that shit, you know. So that's how I look at it, you know. And it's easy for me to connect in that way, because I'm still who I am. I'm still going through what I'm going through, you know. So it's not like I'm far removed, you know. And I hope that when I am far removed from, you know, from all that shit, from any kind of, you know, shit like that, that I still am able to plug in, you know. And even when let's say I move out to fucking another country or some shit like that, you know, I hope that I'm still able to plug in and still have that same heart with people and be able to connect on that level, and not be all on some like, you know, better than people, or like, I can't even deal with that anymore type of shit, you know. But yeah, if that helps answer anything.
Both care too much. You say you're done, I don't know if you're there too much.
Man, the Central District, honestly, I really don't like a lot of it right now, honestly, to be honest. You know, it's a lot of bullshit. You know, the city always, it felt good because it felt like home. It was, you know, it's like, you got community and people, and, you know, you got all kinds of people of color and all that stuff, and nothing against white people. I love white people. But the thing is that it's like, we already have so many white people. I'm gonna have white people in the Central District regardless, anywhere I go. But just seeing other people of other colors and stuff like that, then it adds to that diversity. Why I say nothing against white people is because when I went out to Atlanta, you know, I remember I got out there and I was like, oh my goodness, diversity. Because I was driving through this whole America that was all like racist, weird white people and shit like that. Then I finally get there, I'm like, oh. But then once I was there for a while, I'm like, nigga, this ain't diversity. It's just all black people. And so I was like, I'm out of here. No, that's not really what it went down. But there's a lot more that went down than that. But the point is that, you know, just that diversity and seeing that life and seeing like a place where still had community, you know, whereas a lot of places you go elsewhere and communities ripped apart. You know, even like, for instance, a place like Ballard, you know, like Ballard had hella community. Ballard is gentrified as fuck as well right now, but we just don't see it as much because it's white people that moved other white people out. so it doesn't look like gentrification like we see in the south end of the city, but it is. And then it makes it so that people can't go and play at people's houses. They can't walk through the streets and eat popsicles and be kids and shit like that because there's no community. You don't know what kind of weirdos around here. Stay in the house, nigga. What the fuck you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not letting my kids just wander around like anywhere in Seattle like that. Honestly, there's like not really anywhere that's got community like that. So the city had community, but it don't have community like that right now. A lot of my niggas are still in the hood, and they still be there. You know what I mean? A lot of niggas still might feel some type of way. Hey, Raz, you don't be in the, you're not staying around the block. Nigga, I never was. I'm out getting money. I was a millionaire I've been a millionaire for a long fucking time. I've been on everybody else's block, going everywhere, getting money. So that's nothing new. You know what I mean? But I've always been from the fucking city. I've been from dudes that came down, gladiated, shot my shit, punched niggas up, did whatever I had to do. More than a lot of niggas that talk down on me or talk about me. If they do, I got a lot of love, but with a lot of love, you get a lot of like other shit. And so like, that just adds to another thing. Like, you have a lot of hatred. You don't have the community like you used to have, and then you got some. Sometimes you got some type of bullshit. So like someone like me or any of my niggas, and even if they don't rap, driving through the city, people can feel as safe as they feel like they want to feel because they feel like it's home. But like driving through the city, if you're from the city, if you're from any block or reputable block or anything like that, it's the least safe place for you in the world because the police don't like you. They don't want you to succeed. Niggas don't want you to succeed. Even your niggas that be smiling in your face and shit like that, most of the time don't want you to succeed like that, the list goes on. And then you don't have that community like that. So literally it's like, it's just, and nowadays it's just a bunch of random white people from other places that are all around, and people walking the dog, like, you couldn't walk your dog down, walking down Union or whatever before you get robbed, walking down Jackson, like, it's not good money, but nowadays, like, you can do all that shit, all the beauty and everything that all that beauty, but then all the negativity, because it's targeted on the only niggas that you see out there now, be boop, 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 who's out. Because niggas are still trying to keep it active. The little homies are still trying to keep it active. They're still, they're still trying to, it's the hood. You gotta hold it down. Bang, bang, whatever. And so, you still have the bullshit. You still have like, deaths and, shit going back and forth, but then you don't have the positive. At least before you had the positive, and then you had the negative as well, but then it was worth it because you still got everybody around, and, grandma's house over here, so-and-so auntie over here, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's positive, but now you don't even have that. You just got, just a little like turbulence and shit like that. So it's kind of like, where would I be fighting for? Like, man, like, it's weird, it's just a lot of weird stuff. So for me, it's like, you either have to go through and literally buy up all the land and have space and have it mean something, because right now like nobody owns anything on any blocks or anything like that. It's more like this is where we come from. We're still holding it down. This is where we're from, type thing. But it's not structurally. It doesn't make sense. Like when I go out to Detroit or whatever, like it makes sense that my people are out there from their block. Like their grandma is from that block. They don't. It's different. It's like, there's lots of stuff going on, but like they're from that block, and that makes sense. And that made sense to us. But now that all the gentrification is happening, it's weird. Like you have to like travel to your block. Like I don't even know like any homies really. I don't really know hardly any homies that live on the block anymore, or like even near the vicinity. Most cats is out south, out north, out places out here or there, whatever the fuck, what I'm saying? So it's like damn near like, what do I look like, and then like what are we fighting for at that point, because there's no structure there. So like what I'm on is I'm sitting there making plans and developing plans to buy shit back, like that's why bought the building down the street, we were sitting. I was plotting with the homies like years back about buying some property out, in the city as well, and some more little buildings and shit like that, because it's like if we don't have that, then what do we got? You got Ike's on Union, marijuana shop. I've been pulled over on Union. We got lots of different shit out that way. I know a hell of the homies have been arrested out there, and all this shit and everything. for selling weed, for having weed on them, for selling any and everything else or whatever the fuck. And on that same block, you have some random cat that came from who knows where the fuck. I can't remember what they said. I don't even think he's from Seattle type shit. It doesn't matter. The point is that some random cat come in and now making over $1 million a month selling drugs on this spot where I was there when they were years ago when and I was just sitting and watching. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They were just running a whole almost like we didn't see like Atlanta shit. They were just the police were just focusing on Union, and they were just, and they do it on the 8 too as well. But I was just there watching, and they were just going through and arresting everyone that was just walking across the crosswalk. Any homeless looking people, any people of color, any black people, any young people that look like me or whatever. If you're walking around, they're pulling up on you. Do. And find some shit to arrest you for, you know. And the whole thing was, and I found out later, was that they were cleaning it up because Starbucks was thinking about moving in there on 23rd and Union. They didn't, but they had some other, you know, business move in, and then they had, you know, Ike's move in there, you know. And so, like, to me, it's just crazy. I can't fight for something that where it's not our community anymore. You got to fight from some different angles, you know, because you know, niggas is fighting each other. But what? Like, it's crazy, you know. Cats from the same block are fighting each other, and then cats from different blocks, same hood, fighting each other, same organization, same everything, fighting each other. But we're not even fighting the powers that are actually putting us out, the ones that are taking and ripping out our grandmas from their houses, the ones that are putting us in jail or in prison forever, you know, the ones that are working on killing us, the ones that are taking our money, selling drugs on our blocks. Like, nigga, that's the most gangster shit ever. This nigga came through and is making millions of dollars each month on your block from drugs, and he's not touched. But you want to go and touch another nigga because you're jealous. That's crazy to me. Fuck jewelry. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit don't cost anything. This shit don't cost nearly as much as my $2 million building. This shit don't cost shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Niggas see this shit and think it's something. They want to try and rob a nigga for this shit or whatever. Niggas get shot over trying to rob niggas over shit like this. What? How you gonna rob a nigga? This is scrap gold. This shit don't mean nothing. Like, those diamonds don't mean anything, but you get jealous of a nigga wearing some diamonds and shit like that, and you want to talk about him, talk down on him, maybe try to rob him, maybe just talk about plotting on him and never do anything. But you let somebody over here that's making millions of dollars every fucking month just skate and off of drugs, just skate free like nothing. That's crazy to me. I'm not saying I want anybody to do anything to him. I'm just saying it's crazy that you could really be, you know, so offensive and so defensive and shit about one of your brothers that came up the same way that you came up, but you're not doing shit to this nigga over here who is not a nigga, is not from the hood, none of that shit, and he came through, took over your block, and that's crazy to me. And it's not just Ice. I mean, niggas, they took over Jackson or whatever the fuck, you know. I got love for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, with differences or whatever the fuck aside, like that's why I even go out of my way to try and plug in with cats from other places. You know, that's why I went out of my way to plug in with cats from the South End. Went out of my way to go plug in with cats from Tacoma. Go out of my way to plug in with cats from Union. You know, because I've had differences with cats before, and like, I really mean it when it's, if I say it's all love, or if I love you, I got love for you, even if I don't know you, even if like we used to be enemies or I didn't fuck with somebody else from around your way, I really mean that, because there's no incentive for me to do it. Like, you know, I hold my guns. If I don't fuck with you, I'd say I don't fuck with you. I've said about niggas that have died, I was like, I didn't fuck with that nigga, you know, but, you know, it's not good that he died though. But I'm not gonna lie and act like I fuck with him now. You know what I mean? Like, I keep it real. So when I say I really genuinely mean that, like, you know, I really want to see change. I want to see positivity, and I genuinely want to see all my niggas. And when I say my niggas, I don't mean just my niggas. I mean niggas that don't like me. I want to see all my niggas from the hood, not just my block. I want to see all my niggas from the hood get on. I want to see all my niggas from Seattle, everyone. And when I say niggas, I don't just mean black people either. You know, I want to see everybody get on. You know, genuinely. And I don't care if they get on before me or after me or during or whatever the fuck. Like, it's not a race to the top or some shit like that to me. You know, like, I really want that, you know, and so I hope that can go, you know, can come around. So bottom line, the CD, it's a little frustrating, you know, for me right now. You know, there's some good food spots out there, but like, people wise, You know, I mean, all my cats always running around everywhere else, you know, or maybe they might find their way up in the hood still, but it's not the hood like that, you know what I mean? It is, don't get it fucked up, but again, for all the negative reasons, you know, so for me, it's like a sour taste where, you know, I want us to get on and get land and work together and all that stuff, and I don't see it happening. You would have asked me this question maybe last week, I might have said a different thing, but that's how I feel right now. I was just mulling over that a bit, and it is frustrating, you know, but yeah.